Hello everyone, I hope you had a very nice day today. Today's lesson is 4.4, Least Common Multiple. A multiple is the result of multiplying a number by an integer. For example, if we start with the number 3 and I multiply it by 1, I get 3. If I multiply it by 2, I get 6. Multiply it by 3, I get 9. Multiply it by 4, I get 12, and you can see the pattern. So it's basically like doing your times tables depending on what the numbers are. So the least common multiple is the smallest whole number that is divisible by each of the given numbers. And it's usually going to be 2 or 3 numbers, but it could be more than that. Okay, in the past you may have done finding the LCM of 6 and 8 by listing the factors of 6 and 8, or by counting by 6 and 8. So if you were doing 6, it would have been 6, 12, 18, 24. 8 would have been 8, 16, 24. 24 would have been your LCM. This year, however, we've taught you how to do a factor ladder, and we are going to continue working with a factor ladder. So put your L bracket, and what is the first prime number that would go into 6 and 8? And the answer is 2. Well, 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Are there any common factors that go into 3 and 4? The answer is no, which means we have finished the prime factorization. Now, when we're doing LCM, it's similar to GCF. Your GCF would have been 2. In this case, since we're not doing GCF, we are doing LCM. Your LCM would be taking all of the numbers that are on the outside and multiplying them to get the answer. So in this case, it would be 2 times 3 times 4, which would give you 24. So your LCM would be 24. And again, if we did it the old method, it would have been counting by 6, 12, 18, 24. And then by 8 would have been 8, 16, 24, and you can see that the only common factor that they have, or the first common factor, is 24. So either way you come up with the same answer. Okay, if we do 4 and 5 using a factor ladder, sorry about that, here's our bracket. Okay, is there any prime factor that goes into 4 and 5? The answer is no. The only number that goes into 4 and 5 is 1. Since that is the only one that goes into it, what we can do is we can take the factors that we have here then and multiply them in order to find your LCM. So the LCM of 4 and 5 is 4 times 5, which is 20. Okay, if you pause the video for a moment, you can try and do the factor ladder for 12. Give yourself enough time to solve it before you start the video again. Okay, the first prime factor that goes into 12 and 20 is 2. Well, 2 goes into 12 6 times, 2 goes into 20 10 times. Well, we're not finished factoring it, so we continue. What is the prime number that goes into 6 and 10? The answer is 2. Well, 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times. We now have prime numbers all on the outside, so we're going to find our LCM by multiplying all of the numbers that are here. So the answer would be 2 squared times 3 times 5. Well, 2 squared is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. So our LCM is 60. Now, when using a factor ladder, the LCM is the product of all the numbers on the outside of the ladder. Now, it gets a little bit different when you have 3 numbers. 3 numbers will work exactly the same way up until a certain point. So let's work on that one together. Put our upside down L bracket. What is the prime number that goes into 12, 20, and 8? The answer is 2. Well, 2 goes into 12 6 times, 2 goes into 20 10 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times. Well, we're not done. Let's continue breaking it down. Well, 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times. And now we have all of the prime factors again. So here, your LCM would be those numbers there. So we would multiply 2 cubed times 3 times 5. Well, 2 cubed is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 times 3 is 120. So your LCM is 120. Okay, so this one worked exactly the same way as it does with two factors, or two numbers. Sometimes, though, it'll be a little different when you have three numbers. So the key to remember is when finding the LCM of three numbers, find all the prime factors of at least two of the numbers, then multiply all of the outside numbers. So let's do an example that will show you what we're talking about. If we have 6, 9, and 12, put our upside down L bracket. What number goes into 6, 9, and 12? The answer is 3. Well, 3 goes into 6 2 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 12 4 times. Now, some of you may think we're already finished. However, we're not finished. And the reason we're not finished is 2 and 4 can both be simplified. Well, let's continue doing that. What number goes into 2 and 4? Well, the answer is 2. So we put the 2 on the outside. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 4 twice. Now, all we need to do with that 3, since we didn't do any division, was bring that 3 straight down. Now we have all of the numbers that we need in order to find the LCM. The LCM, again, is still all of the numbers that are on the outside. So now we have 1 times 2 squared times 3 squared. Well, 1 times 2 squared is 4. 4 times 9, which is 3 squared, is 36. So the LCM of 6, 9, and 12 is 36. I hope you have enough information in order to start the lesson tomorrow. Remember, if you don't understand something, please take notes and make sure you ask questions in class. Have a great day.